So Fiona Harvey, aka the self-identified real-life Martha, is suing Richard Gadd, her victim, Netflix, the ones who believed the victim, and the production company, the ones who gave the victim a voice. This comes as no surprise to me or anyone else who has dealt with a narcissistic person in family court. Her behaviours are textbook. They are also a really good tool for explaining how victims experience family court against an abusive ex. Here's how. Fiona Harvey is hyper focused on one detail, the part where they say she was convicted and went to prison. She hasn't denied sending messages. In fact, in her interview with Predatory Piers Morgan, she admits to sending some. Her explanation as to why and how many changes, but she did send them. In family court, a narcissist will demand all the court's attention to one point, diverting it away from the whole picture and hiding behind this one contentious point. So, people are saying Netflix shouldn't have said it was a true story. They should have said it was based on, because this led people to finding her. I disagree on that, but my main comparison is that it is her behaviour both towards Richard Gadd and since, which has led people to finding her. If she hadn't done those things, there'd be nothing to find. In my opinion, FH is so delusional that she believes the messages were wanted and justified, therefore she didn't stalk anyone. Narcissists display this distorted thinking all the time. They vehemently deny allegations made against them with such ferocity that people believe them. This is because they genuinely believe they haven't done anything wrong. FH engaged with amateur sleuths who found her and the media rather than closing things down. She wanted and revelled in the attention because it allowed her to play the victim. This is narcissist behaviour in Family Court 101. FH has manoeuvred herself into the victim role, which is classic Darvo tactics. FG is being questioned over his credibility, the validity of his evidence, and his personality. Victim shaming 101. These tactics are all designed to silence the victim in an attempt to protect her false identity. Family court has become a gagging order placed on victims who not only are told their abuse is irrelevant or imagined, but they in fact are abusive for talking about it. FH has employed the services of an aggressive law firm to take on Netflix. Now, obviously Netflix aren't small fry themselves, but her attitude towards litigation speaks volumes about how she treats people. She is forceful and a bully. Narcissists choose lawyers who share their communication style. That's how victims get bullied into useless court orders. Playing devil's advocate, I always zoom out of cases and look at the whole picture. So here are some points. If FH was the victim, she has a right to reply, especially if it isn't true. However, given her public behaviour since, I think it is fair to say she definitely sent all those messages, and so she did stalk him. Therefore, there has to be a balance between having her say and being mindful of the trauma this is causing the victim. FH clearly has zero empathy, but RG showed a vast amount of compassion for Martha, both in the show and since. In reality, the ending she is arguing about court and jail was a redeeming factor for her in the show, and if Richard did concoct that ending, it was clearly to humanise her. The fact Fiona can't see that is very telling and reveals her cognitive distortions, and that she is far more concerned with the damage being done to her reputation, false as it may be, than people having sympathy for her. Sadly, this is another case of trial by media, which has led to a complete distortion of the story and its purpose. Men's support groups have documented a huge rise in calls to helplines following the programme. It has also allowed other victims of FH to come forward. A fact that has been conveniently dismissed as everyone focuses on the trial of the century. FH shows stalking behaviour. She has repeatedly traumatised victims with her obsessive and aggressive communication. She refuses to accept any responsibility and makes derogatory comments about everyone who questions her false self. She is an abuser. Whether or not she went to prison is irrelevant to me. She is dangerous, and rather than support her attempts to re-establish her false persona, we should be looking for ways to prevent her from hurting anyone else. Sadly, much like family court, prevention is forgotten as the circus has come to town. What do you think? Like, comment and subscribe to keep updated with videos, and for support with a narcissistic ex in family court, head to www.getcourtready.co.uk.